All
Sure.
right, so we're back here at the Labrador Energy Podcast with Justin Small coming live. Well, not live for you, but live for me, all the way from Malaysia, KL. You in KL,
What's
right?
up, everybody?
You in KL at the moment, right, Justin?
Yeah, I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, man, where it's bright and sunny every single day.
How are you dealing with the humidity?
Well, Dragos, I'm from a very cold place in the United States, from Cleveland, Ohio, close to Canada, and we get snow all the way up to our assholes. So it's, you know what I mean? I'm loving it, bro. I love the heat. So I'm just soaking it in, bro.
Because I remember, like when I was living in Singapore again, the humidity was so aggressive that I would basically I'd have to shower like most of the time, like twice a day sometimes, because especially if you go
Oh
outside.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle change. Like when I first got here, I had to get used to it. Like I was getting like super dehydrated really quickly, really easily. Like I realized you just got to be drinking water all day, every day, or you're just not gonna survive here.
Okay.
So there are like small little lifestyle changes you got to make when you come. You
You started hitting up that coconut water.
know? Coconut water, bro. Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I live in a Turkish neighborhood back in Berlin. I live in Kreuzberg, so there's a little Turkish market. I should be drinking coconut water all the time there.
Right. So tell us a bit more. How did you? What about yourself? You know, who are you? What are you doing? For those of you that don't know.
Yeah. Okay, man. What's up, y'all? So for those who don't know, my name is Justin. I am American. I'm a black dude. So Dragos and I actually know each other from Berlin, from the Berlin comedy scene. What was I doing in Berlin? Well, I was working for startups. I was doing online marketing for startups. I, was living in the States. I decided I want to live internationally. So I started getting into areas of like entrepreneurship that would allow me to get international jobs. So I started learning online marketing, worked for an agency here, worked for an agency there, got a job in Munich, Germany. I was supposed to go from Munich to Australia. And then 1 month after I got there, they were like, hey, so we're not opening the office in Australia anymore. I guess you're just gonna have to get used to Germany. So I never actually even imagined I would live in Germany. Being an American, like we learn a lot about European culture. Up until France, we don't learn really much about Germany besides, modern history.
Right.
So I didn't know anything about Germany. I'm walking around here like confused a lot, but I realized Germany is a gem. Very cool place, very stable economy, cool people. So I ended up moving from Munich to Berlin, which is an awesome decision. And about 2 years, I was there for about 4 years. And about 2 years into living in Berlin, I started doing stand-up.
Okay, and that is how we met. Hey, I wanted to ask you, man. Like, so you said basically you kind of wanted to work and live internationally. Like, was there any particular? What was the reason for that? Like, you just kind of woke up one morning, you was like, man, I want to live that international life, that pitbull lifestyle.
Well, good question, man. It started because, Americans don't travel a lot, and I just happened to get this bug when I was younger, because I had a cool Spanish teacher in high school. In my freshman year, first year of high school, I had a cool ass Spanish teacher, and he just inspired me to want to learn Spanish. And I wasn't the best student at that time, so when I wanted to take Spanish more seriously, and I could see myself, becoming a Spanish speaker, and I wanted to get in these higher classes later in high school, I was like, shit, well, if I could go and live with a family for like a month in Mexico,
right,
and accelerate my Spanish, maybe I could actually make this happen. So I actually lived with a family for a month when I was 16 in Mexico, and had this crazy, world-changing experience. I was there with my best friend too. We're just doing, shout out to Mexico, man. Awesome people.
Shout out Mexico.
But that gave me the bug, man, to want to travel, and man, I don't want to just go on vacation. I want to live abroad and talk to people and speak to people in their own language. That's where it all started from. So I studied Spanish and French in university. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew whatever I did, I'd be able to reproduce that in different languages, maybe give me opportunity to travel.
So Cleveland as a city, how is Cleveland? I don't know much about Ohio. I know Dave Chappelle lives in Ohio. That's what I know.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle lives in kind of like a redneck, like backwater. No, it's not backwater. No, it's it's a redneck part of Ohio. So Ohio, we are in the Midwest, right? That's part of the heartland. You know what I mean? Like people are generally really nice, really humble, really cool, but not a lot of interesting shit going on. It's like part of that just big region of America that nobody knows about because nobody gives a shit. What's going on?
Is Ohio the Bible Belt?
No, Ohio is so if you're thinking of like the top half of the US,
right,
we're in the top half, right?
Okay, I see.
If you're thinking about the bottom half, that's the Bible Belt.
That's the Bible Belt, okay.
Right. So people slaves used to run from the south to places like Ohio.
Okay, I see. So it's basically it's a blue city. It's a blue state then.
Yeah, we were part of the Union. We're like, so we do outside of the major cities in Ohio, it gets very country because it's a rural state, technically.
Right.
It's a rural state. So outside the major cities, you do get some racism. You know what I mean? You do you get some country motherfuckers out there.
Right, okay. Is it like malicious racism or just like ignorant racism?
Both.
Okay.
Because I mean, yeah, you'll get both. You'll get both. Ignorant racism is just everywhere. I mean, but everybody, all races are capable of that.
Yeah.
Ignorant racism, right? But the malicious shit, yeah, you'll find that too.
Is it like the KKK kind of homeland, or not really? Is that more like down south?
Yeah, no, you'll get some KKK shit in Ohio. I think the Grand Wizard used to be based there at some point during my lifetime. Like yeah, man. But hey, I mean, that's my people. You know what I mean? It's a weird place, dog. It's a weird.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of the weird shit.
Place, man.
A lot of the weird stuff coming up to the, just like with this whole kind of pandemic situation now, you see like, the Trump telling people to like inject disinfectant stuff. That was, there's a lot of weird stuff coming out to the light. But, it is, I guess, it's, I think.
Dude, let me just say, bro, when I heard that shit, I felt like I was in a bad trip, dude. Like I'm like, this is like, when am I going to wake up? What the did the president of the United States just say, like fucking disinfectant supplies at home? That's okay. Joe Rogan put up this fucking status that said, we are living in a movie. Bro, we're living in a movie, man. This is idiocracy, bro.
It's The Onion, right? They say, every story from The Onion is coming true,
It's coming true, bro. This shit is unbelievable, man.
But I think that's one of the things about the U.S. is such a country contrast, right? Like you have all these and it's kind of like, because there's no in between. You only have like moderate, it's like liberal, super kind of like conservative, and then how you get Trump, right? And there's no more parties, right? There's no other parties. But I guess it's not going to politics, because I just honestly don't know enough to kind of carry that conversation. But I wanted to ask you being in Ohio and Cleveland, have you ever been to like a comedy show there, like an actual comedy club?
Dude, I've never done stand up in the States ever. That is, I consider that to be my litmus test, man. Right. I've been doing my thing out in Europe, out in Asia a little bit, but I gotta go back home and hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, people that know me from home, show me love on Instagram, bullshit that I post on Facebook and stuff. But I gotta get in front of my people and let them know how I feel, talk my shit, and see what they think.
Isn't that crazy that basically American stand-up the American way has kind of like the thing that a lot of comedians across the world kind of look towards and look like as the golden standard, right? And it's like crazy that you're started doing it out in the like Germany and like fucking Malaysia. And I don't know why I added the fucking before Malaysia. Probably not required, but like it's interesting how like the whole kind of just the genre has kind of taken ampler. Why am I using such big words? It has to kind of like it's kind of like blown up around the world, right? Because
man. I mean, I think so. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but someone explained to me once that the reason why some aspects of American culture become so popular is because there's people, from what I've been told, the outside perspective looking in, is that in terms of like things like the arts, athletics, stuff like that, Americans are very perfectionist.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to produce this thing. I'm not going to let this thing out until I get this one thing perfect. And just that kind of, and not in every way, but in some ways.
Right.
So, like when it comes to comedy and just, we've just, it kind of developed as an art form here. You know what I mean? It's like, you're just going to get people who are just very solid practitioners and who have a very high, let's say, IQ about how to navigate this space.
Right.
So I think that, I mean, and that's one reason why I'm excited to go back, because I feel like I've been practicing outside of the homeland of it, like in the Africa of stand-up comedy.
Just Africa stand-up comedy. Yeah,
I take it back to the motherland and see if they accept me. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, like, is there any big kind of club in Cleveland? Do you have like the Punchline, or like was it like the Improv, or any of these big kind of?
So Cleveland's not actually really known as like a stand-up city. So I and having not been in Cleveland for real and lived there in like last four and a half years, I had to do my research. So I found that there is one, I can't lie, the name escapes me right now, but there's one downtown Cleveland. I think it's on like East 4th Street. But I think there's like one, maybe two clubs. And then I know also bars that do open mics. I did my research.
Just kind of like how we do it in Berlin, just like, find a bar, do mic kind of situation. And how's the transition to Malaysia been? Like, you moved to Malaysia to kind of, work on some projects with your brother, yeah?
Yep. So I came to Malaysia because I've been working in the startup field for a while, doing online marketing. I got two older brothers. One of them is an entrepreneur here. He's a co-founder of a startup. And he had a side project that he pitched me because I was thinking about leaving, my position, and he was like, well, maybe let's dive into this together. So I was helping him while I was still working. Moves started being made, money started being generated. So I was like, fuck it, left my job, came down here. Doing new things that I've never done for the first time.
Is this your first time in Malaysia?
First time in Asia, dude. A lot of Asians.
Isn't that like
walking around when they tell you there's a lot?
I don't remember if I told you that as well, but like it is, the first thing that you kind of realize is like, oh, that's a lot of Asian people here. Like just the densities, not in any weird way, just like the density is so much higher, right?
100%, dude. Like, okay, so
it's like the motherfuckers everywhere.
It's just a human thing. Bro, it's just a human observation and grow up around a whole ton of Asians. I had a couple of Asian homies, but when you land here, it's like, god damn, there's so many Asians. I mean, it's the same thing if a dude from Iceland landed in Nigeria.
Yeah. So a lot of black dudes running around. So basically, give me a second. My phone is ringing. Let me just check this.
They're strong out here.
I think Oliver is giving me a call. So I don't know if you guys. Can you hear me? I don't know if you know this, but Berlin had the situation where basically they gave freelancers some free money from the government, right? You heard about this?
I heard that.
So basically, if you register as a freelancer on your startup stuff, you get $5,000 from the governmental, which is not that stimulus check is like the equivalent of the stimulus check for Berlin. So then basically I ended up kind of getting the $5,000, and I was, I think Oliver got it as well. And I think he just called me about that. But then, as Eastern Europeans, we were very skeptical about this, this free money from the government. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, what am I gonna have to like give up my firstborn child for this? And for me, I'd be like, okay, I don't have any kids, so I'll push that back. But Oliver already has like a firstborn, so they're probably calling in to cash in on that.
I think you're thinking about it the right way. Maybe it's all good, but maybe there's some fine print.
There's some fine print.
From a Black American, you just gotta think that way, baby.
I mean, I should be fine basically in terms of like, I don't think there's gonna be any form of clawback or anything. I got like shit tons of receipts from like comedy business, from my comedy kind of stuff. So I think it'll be, I think they might do an audit or something, see where you spend that money on. You can't really spend it on like, weed and other paraphernalia. You know what I mean?
Actually, I believe maybe that would happen in a place like Bavaria. I feel like in Germany, you gotta expect it.
Right.
These are artists in Berlin. They're buying weed with your money.
I think it's because the thing is, it was supposed to be money for just living expenses, right? And weed's a living expense.
True.
But
you gotta get your greens.
Gotta get that exactly. It's cabbage, fucking lettuce, and then fucking weed. That's the essential greens.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a bit more about Malaysia. So you kind of landed there for the first time. What was it, December or January? Oops, shit.
Sorry, say that again.
When did you first land in Malaysia? Sorry, I just kind of fucking hit I got some lights here because the room's not properly lit, and I just hit one and some shit fell down. It's all good.
For sure. So I got here back in October, dude.
It's already been it's already been here like 6 months, almost 7 months.
Yeah, it's going on 8 months, man.
Yeah.
For almost majority of a year, dude. This shit flew by too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I came out here in October. I've gotten to see a little bit just over I've been to Singapore, been to
Okay.
Vietnam. I was in Vietnam for a week. I was in Cambodia for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
Just kind of try. Like, what'd you think of Singapore?
So, Singapore is fly, bro. Singapore is so fly. It's the flyest place I've ever been.
Right.
But there's a hint of like lameness just because of all the rules and the restrictions and the fact that you're being watched at all times.
Yeah.
You can't find a dime sack anywhere, or you fucking, you know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah.
Like, I was afraid. Like Singapore was dope, and I love visiting, and I would always go visit there, but I don't know if I could live there. Even how nice it is.
Right.
I'm just the kind of dude that's just gonna accidentally get into trouble, or you know what I mean? Oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. You know what I mean?
I lived there for about
Singapore dollars or something.
I lived there for about a year and a half. Like, I think the closest I've got to getting fined was basically drinking water on the MRT, because you're not allowed to drink. They have open bottles of the MRT, and one of my friends was like, "Hey man, what the fuck are you doing?" But other than that, it's pretty. I think it's pretty. Like, the problem with Singapore is that it is very stable. You know, like financially, job wise, and work wise, everything is kind of like this, right? It's like a straight line in terms of everything. Whereas you kind of need a bit of fucking not chaos, but you need a little bit of excitement here and there. So a lot of people kind of go out to go out to Thailand, go out to Malaysia to have a little bit of that kind of like not exoticness, but like that Asia, Southeast Asia kind of lifestyle, because it's cheaper. You get the money from Singapore, you live better, you can spend more. But then in Singapore, it's just like it's the same thing over and over. I felt so it's a bit too. I don't know. It was a bit too uneventful for me.
Yeah, it was like monotone. It's a little monotonous.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. And then I think for me as well, coming from, and maybe for you as well, like coming from a place where you have like seasons, right? Like in Ohio, I'm assuming you got like summer, winter, fucking autumn. And what's the other one? Spring.
Oh man, give me summertime all year, baby. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. You're down for the summer.
That's what it's got to be, man. Summertime. Yeah, dude. I mean, winter is cool. You know what I mean? I love looking at snow from the inside where it's hot, though.
Right. You get
but I.
Carry on.
Say what? I was just gonna say I grew up like in a place. So I grew up in a place. We're close to Canada. I grew up playing ice hockey. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Where it snows up to your knees.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've like snow days and ice days and days that get so cold you literally can't. They close school because it's literally it's a threat to like public health for kids standing outside this time waiting for school.
That's pretty cool. I've never heard of a black guy playing hockey. Not to sound ignorant or anything.
Oh, okay. What's crazy is that so different. America's so big, dude. All these different regions have different cultures, and where I'm from, in places like Ohio, Wisconsin, you know what I mean, like Minnesota, like where you have black people, but black people who live close to Canada,
right?
We don't really play football as much as they do in the South. I mean, we play indoor sports.
Right. Okay.
Ice hockey. So
that's crazy, man.
Okay, where I went to high school, bro.
Mm-hmm.
High school, like I went to a private preparatory all-male high school, and maybe 2 of the 3 years I was in high school, there was a black captain of the hockey team.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2 captains, one of them would be black.
Damn, man.
Black people playing hockey where I'm from, man.
Oh, cool. But is hockey like as established as it is in Canada and the US? I feel like it doesn't get the same level of respect as it gets in Canada, right?
No, yeah. So he lost a lot of popularity, man. Hockey used to be the shit. You see rappers in early 2000s.
Right.
Hockey just became less popular over time, I guess. So you don't hear about hockey. People don't even talk about the Stanley Cup anymore.
Right. Okay.
Like football and basketball and shit.
Yeah. So you guys are like.
But America. So Canada was always winning. America's communist. Is always between America, Russia. Sweden.
Right. Yeah. These like Estonia, Latvia, the skating kind of countries. Nice. So you got so basically you have people kind of looking up to Wayne Gretzky as opposed to Michael Jordan.
Dude. The great one, bro.
The great one. Yeah. Bro, that's a joke right there, man.
I'd be playing.
Yo, that is definitely it. It's a joke, man.
For sure.
You can do like you can do like an Ohio thing, like growing up, my idol was Wayne Gretzky, and people were like, what?
Yeah, it's not normal, dude. That is definitely unique.
Yeah.
bro, I used to be fucking, most kids when I went to I went to college in the South in Atlanta, you know what I mean, where it's like way more black people. And I'm like having my own culture shock, like, oh shit,
Right.
I fucking suck at fucking playing 2K, basketball, Madden, and football and shit. We put a hockey game on, bro. We can play. Different.
Put some hockey game on, get some cheese on the table, that Ohio, Wisconsin life.
Yeah, totally, bro. Let's get real Midwestern.
Yeah. So how's a lot of hockey going on in Malaysia?
Hell no. It's hard to find ice in this bitch.
How's the integration process going on there? You meet a lot of Malaysians. You kind of get to mingle a lot with the local population.
Yeah, it's interesting, dude. So to give you some contrast, so my two older brothers that live here, they came here to work professionally. They work out of offices, blah blah blah. Most of their network are expats.
Right.
Not a lot of Americans out here, but a lot of expats. I came here and I'm working from home. And I do stand up. So I'm not meeting a lot of expats. The people I do meet happen to be from Malaysia.
Right.
So most of the people I interact with are like native Malaysians.
Right.
They're just curious people, dude. Curious people. Like people have asked me about my hair. Is your hair real? Does it really grow like that? How does it work? You know what I mean? People ask me, of course, people ask me where I'm from. A lot of people are asking me if I'm Indian.
Really?
Yeah. For the first time, I'm like, no.
That could be, again, that's another bit right there. Well,
no. But yeah. So that's our first. People are curious out here. So I haven't been to the mainland. I haven't been to Japan. I don't really know. You know what I mean? About all of Asia. But from what I can tell, Malaysians and Singaporeans are a little bit more outgoing, and they are less reserved. They're still reserved in a sense compared to the West, but they're less reserved than what I can tell of like mainland Chinese, or honkies. Hong Kong, they call them. I didn't know that till I got here.
Yeah, it's not like it's not it's not like it's not hyper derogatory or anything. It's just like
Right.
I mean, it's probably not politically correct, but you'll notice that in Asia there's a lot less that political correctness going on, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's reflected in the comedy scene too.
Yeah. So they got some racist shit going on.
Totally, man. But I love that shit, bro. I don't know what it is. It's just because I come from America and it just gets real fucking pressurized over there. But when I get to places like Europe and everybody seems all cool, European, we're all you Americans are so crazy. And then the Euro Cup happens, and then everybody starts talking all this European shit. I live for that, bro. I love watching you guys shit on each other's ass. And then here, also Malaysia, they're mixed society, so you get Asian, you get Asians, you get Malays, Indians, Chinese, Bengali people. And they grew up with each other, so it reminds me of America, man. They're just like shitting on each other. Funny. A lot more
comfortable talking shit, right?
Yeah, a lot of people talking shit.
And there's
it's all good natured.
Yeah. So how's the comedy scene there? How you get to go on stage quite often there? Well, obviously not now, but prior to pandemic times.
So of course, yeah.
You hit up the crack house?
Yeah, bro. I've been at the crack house. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm there like every week, man. As long as I'm not like traveling or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there's 2 stages that I primarily try to get on every week. I try to hit at least like 2 mics. Most of the time, I'm hitting at least 2 mics. The Joke Factory. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
There. Okay, Joke Factory and Crack House. And so I'm at it like at least 2 times a week, maybe more if I'm lucky. There's been a couple times I was invited to do like an actual show.
Right, showcase.
So it's nice to see that some people have, they dig my style.
Recognition, yeah.
Right. So that's love. And generally it's a lot of comedians, not a lot of mics.
Right.
And I've gotten to see a lot of contrast between why it's been able to take off and become what it has become up to this point in Berlin, and maybe why, with the same amount of effort, it hasn't in Malaysia.
Right.
Which is, I think, really interesting because, for one, I asked myself, why are there so few mics? The city's very spread out.
Right.
Berlin also is somewhat, but
Right.
KL is like more spread out.
Right.
And public transportation
Not
is
your friend.
not really, and that makes a huge difference compared to Berlin.
Right.
Where public transportation goes everywhere efficiently in more ways
Right.
than one. And then you get then you also Berlin is also just an art city, so people are just willing to just walk off the street into an open mic and see what's going on for free, and then maybe donate at the end. Malaysia, especially Asia, doesn't really have a culture of like comedy. You know what I mean? Comedy, you're mostly seen as like a fool. It's not really like a respected thing.
It's kind of like a
so people are
clowning around, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like even open mics here are paid. If you're an audience member and you want to go, you gotta pay.
Right. Okay.
And because people probably wouldn't donate. It's just, oh, comedy, that's cool. And, right. So it's interesting. So it's definitely growing here. It's probably been around, similarly as long as Berlin has.
Right.
But it's also mostly a local crowd, which is different for me. And
interesting.
Local comedians.
Right.
So most of my life has been lived, having experiences between black people, white people, and these stereotypes, brown people here and there.
Right.
Out here, it's interesting how the jokes hit differently because there's not a whole lot of white people out here, and they get, they're aware, they get what I'm talking about, but they don't have a personal, deep connection with it, or something they see all the time.
Right.
So they laugh, but it's not that ha ha ha, you really know what I'm talking about.
The recognition, the gut laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's taken some definitely it's taken some stage time for me to figure that out, to rework it and figure out how do I get those jokes to work, and also figure out, okay, what experiences am I having here that I can also turn into material too.
Right.
It's not just this race related, but also not race related.
Right.
I'm actually trying to take a step away from just mostly like race, ethnicity based stuff. I could always write these kind of jokes.
Yeah. I mean, it's also about evolving as a comedian, right? You do a bit more observational about the culture. You do a bit more like, this is how I interact with the Malaysian people. Yeah, they're like, what kind of bits have worked for you so far in terms of like the local type stuff?
Okay, sure. So I have this one joke that I'm still working out. I won't tell it, but I'll explain a little bit about it.
Yeah. Talk me through the process.
So this one is a race-based joke. I was having experiences here that I never had anywhere else. This was unique. There's a large population of Nigerians here. I think you're aware of this.
Okay.
And they don't have laws. The laws out here around internet scams are not as strong as in like the West. So a lot of Nigerians do a lot of scamming, and they've kind of ruined like the image of black people over here before the rest of us showed up. So a lot of people will assume I'm Nigerian, and will probably think I'm some kind of Nigerian scammer.
Right. One of these Nigerian Indians, the new ones.
Yep, pretty much. And so basically, I have this joke where I talk about me not being a scammer. Right. I can prove it. You just have to go to my website, justinspellnotascam.com, and sign up and enter your credit card information.
Right. And
basically, it is a scam.
And again, because it's so like a massive part of the culture, right?
Yeah, totally. And people have even like as soon as so the part that gets the biggest laugh is when I'll tell a funny, one of my opening jokes, and I'll say, in Malaysia, people think I'm Nigerian, and that alone, people go, ah!
Oh, really? Just the recognition of that alone. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. They're like, oh shit, shit, because they're kind of laughing like, yes, that's true, but they're also laughing at themselves like, yeah, we do that.
Yeah. We like everybody. Default black is Nigerian black.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like we all know what I'm talking about.
Right. What's the kind of like with the crowd's reaction? You said like it's mostly. Do you have like is it Chinese Malaysian, or is it Malay, or what's the kind of like the makeup? Is it just like you get a lot of Indians in?
So it'll mostly be Chinese, and like as in Chinese Malay and Malay. Right. And then you get your Indian sprinkled in there too.
Right.
But then and that's probably the majority of the time. Sometimes you got more Malays. Sometimes you got more Indians. And so, I mean, it could be mixed. It's usually, but it's mostly, I guess, like majority Chinese and Malays.
Right. Okay. You get a lot of what about the comedians? You get a lot of diversity there. Are you like the diverse section?
Yeah, I'm definitely like the only black dude.
Okay.
The only black dude. I'm there, and there's only two Americans that I'm thinking of. Me and this other guy, Aaron Barber.
Right. Okay. Right.
Have you ever met him?
No, I don't think I have because I think I didn't really play in the KL scene that much. It was mostly Singapore, and a lot of times basically people from Malaysia would come over and perform, and then it'd be like who would come over? Like this guy called Papi Zach. There would be another dude called what's his name? The one that has a Netflix special.
Kevin.
Kevin J, yeah, Kevin J, and another dude that used to do some shows with Umar at Comedy Masala. The names escapes me. And then Nat Kang used to like live in Johor Bahru, so he used to like just come over quite a lot. He used to like basically just come. Okay. And then who else? The lady, the slightly what's her name? She does like a burlesque comedy show. She's like
Joanne Campo.
Joanne, yeah. So she'll do like shows at.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you know her?
Yeah, but I have just kind of spoken with her twice, so I don't know if she kind of remembers me. Because basically, like I don't know if you know Comedy Masala in Singapore. It's kind of like this weekly show that they run, and it's like a very long running show, and it's a paid show. I think it's like $20 to get in, 20 Singaporean dollars to get in, and they get a big crowd of expats, and they fly. They have like a headliner every week. And the situation would be that you have the headliners, but then if you're a comedian in Singapore, you get to go in for free and watch the comedians, right? So I'd always like kind of hung out there every Tuesdays and watch some of the comedians, and I opened for some of them a couple of times. But yeah, we'd get a couple of people from Malaysia coming over, and then people from like Singapore would go over sometimes. Like Jinx, I don't know if you know Jinx or Rishi or Fuzz would go over and do some shows, which are like the bigger comedians in Singapore.
Fuzz?
Yeah, I think Faka Faz would definitely be.
I've never met him.
Yeah, he would be more of the one that has, let's say, a bit more of a presence in the Malaysian scene because he's Singaporean Malay. So he speaks Bahasa and does a couple of jokes with a couple of Bahasa sprinkled in.
Gotcha. Yeah, never met him, but I've seen his name advertised around different shows.
Yeah.
And I imagine he's probably really fun.
He's
most of the comedians out here not very diverse. Mostly Malaysians. You get a lot of Indians, and mostly Indians and Malays, and you get also some Chinese.
Right. And in terms of like the career progression, because I know a couple of these guys were moving into like Malaysian TV. Like I think Papi Zak was one that was doing a lot of TV in Malaysia. So there's like a bit of career progression for them in that direction, right? Mm-hmm. Do you get like how big are the clubs? Because I can't remember the size of the crack house. Was it like 80, 100?
Crack house can fit, I guess, like around 100 or probably like 120 if it's like packed.
Right.
And the Joke Factory can definitely pack like probably similar because they do like more cabaret style where they have like tables and stuff.
Right.
Serve you while the show's going on. But if it was strictly chairs, they could probably pack like 100. Definitely like 130 people in there maybe.
Right. You get the chance to interact with some of the audience after the show. The people come up to you and be like, "Hey man, yeah, good stuff. What's up?"
Yeah, and that's love too. Like a couple of people have come up and like, "Yo, can I take a picture with you?"
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we fucking we hang out and people just ask me questions, no matter where I'm at because of my opening joke. People ask me like, "Oh, do you really sell weed?" I'm like, not on Mondays.
That's so funny. They actually ask you if you sell weed. I'm like, what?
I mean, out here, they even want to buy. I just want to know, like, do you really sell weed?
Right.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, because again, that's kind of like that blissful ignorance, right? He was like, "Oh, I've never met somebody that sells weed."
Yeah, right.
Can you be my weed dealer? Yeah.
Say what?
You're gonna be like, do you want to be my weed dealer? It's like, very.
Right.
Now I got a weed guy. I was gonna say,
pretty much.
You already know what you gotta do, man. You gotta get them to follow you on Instagram, Facebook, hit you those reviews, man. This is how you farm
totally,
them,
dude. Dude, I gotta hustle those reviews, man. Totally.
That's what it is. So what's the plan for you now? Like, situation, the things are kind of slowed down with the corona. You got like a longer time frame from Malaysia. You're vibing with the place. You're feeling like it's a good place to be. Are you like jonesing to come back to Berlin, the US? You got any form of indication?
These are good questions, my dude. I am actually in the process of figuring all of that right now. I got to figure it out by pretty much like mid-June. I got to know what I'm doing next. So ideally, one of the reasons I came out here is so that I could create a position for myself in this company where I could work and live remotely. I could be in Berlin if I wanted to.
Right.
States, right?
Get that
but if I
flexibility.
had to choose, if I had to choose, I would say, well, so things are so up in the air.
Right.
If I create some scenarios,
right.
Let's say if comedy is still really about to pick back up and allowed to take back off, let's say by like August in Berlin.
Right.
I would probably start relocating towards Berlin because I'm at a point now where this company here is not working out, and I probably need to get back to a full-time job.
Okay.
Build my savings again.
Right.
So that's a possibility. If for any reason I can't stay here and Germany's not the best move, I'll probably head back to the States. But that's like plan C or D.
Right. So it's not like in the forefront.
Yeah, it's not at the forefront. Ideally, I'd like to be back in Berlin doing comedy and working. I can't be here.
Right.
Working towards something that will allow me to work remote.
Right. Okay. I see. So you just kind of, because obviously the whole kind of fucking pandemic shit has kind of hit everybody hard, right? Like, obviously I've been just kind of hanging around home for the past couple of weeks, and we're starting to do shows around Europe, and that's kind of shut down. And to be honest, like the problem is we don't know exactly what the fuck is going to happen, right? Because like with these restrictions, events are the ones that are getting fucking destroyed, right? Because you have a congregation of people, it's a fucking potentially an infection hotspot, right? So we gotta wait and see what happens. And I think the big fear now for a lot of people is like, what if there's another fucking wave in September, right? And then that's kind of like fuck, But yeah, I just gotta have to play it by ear. In the meantime, I just kind of, I think what I've done particularly, I've started doing more of these podcasts, putting them on YouTube, started putting clips, doing these reviews that I'm doing, trying to like, redirect energy into somewhere creative and like productive, right? Which is like building an audience on YouTube. So like for me, like the plan now is to kind of do a bit more of that, but again, kind of see exactly what the situation. It's so difficult to switch mediums, you know what I mean? Because stand-up is such a kind of scripted medium, and it's I'm trying to write comedy videos for YouTube, but I just don't feel comfortable kind of filming them and putting them on, which I think is just gonna, because again, it's like me talking to myself and like doing this kind of stuff. Hey, you have to get used to all this production shit. So this is what earlier when I was fucking around, basically one of my lights, because I got some lights that kind of shine on me. Basically ran out of battery. So then this shit kind of, because I got it on the camera here. So I was like, all right, I got it. That's why I was like fucking around. So it's just trying about figuring out. And I think a lot of people are kind of in that moment, some people are doing like, some people started doing basically online mics. I mean, Tyrone and Daniel are doing this. You should check in on Sunday if it kind of aligns with your timeline. They're doing this online Crazy Stupid Berlin, which is it's working out pretty decent.
I did their show.
Oh yeah, we
like 2 weeks ago.
How was it? Pretty good, yeah.
It was dope. Yeah, it was dope. So for me, comedy wise, man, I've actually been doing a couple shows here and there. So
is it online shows or?
Yeah, of course.
Are you co-hosting them or are you organizing them, or what's the kind of?
So I've
logistics?
gotten the opportunity to get on 3 shows. I did Crazy Stupid Berlin. The Crack House opened up online, so I did one of their shows. Okay. And I did a show in Japan. 2 days ago. Yeah,
sweet, man.
Yeah, I actually have a list of mics around the world and what times they start and where to sign up.
So okay.
I'm trying to, just like you, man, I'm trying to keep this creative energy going.
Flowing, yeah. Yeah, I've been writing I've been writing a lot of stuff as well, but again, it's you don't know if it's gonna work because you got nowhere to test it, right?
Yeah, but I'm actually, from my experience, I'm pretty optimistic. Oh, I also hosted a show, by the way.
Right. Okay. Well, hit me up next time you host it up. Let's do some of that Berlin live, guys.
Definitely. I'm actually producing a show. Well, by the time this gets released, I will have produced a show. Okay. But to tell you about it, I came up with this idea because I'm like straddling 2 comedy scenes. I put the show together where I have some Berlin comedians alongside some Malaysian comedians. Okay. So this Friday, I have a show going on for the Berlin audience. So us Malaysian comedians are going to be up till at like 3 a.m. doing sets. Right. Okay. We are, I'm trying to experiment with this format because if it works, I'll do the same thing in Malaysia. Right. Maybe it could be a bi-weekly thing. Every other week, I'm bringing Berlin comedians here and with Malaysians and vice versa bi-weekly. Or maybe it could be a weekly thing, but I do on different days. You know, it could go anywhere. I'm also experimenting with trying to make some income. You know, so I'm experimenting with donations.
Right. How would that happen?
You know,
is it PayPal based or?
Ticketed is going to bring money in, but how do I? I'm also experimenting with how do I prevent clipping a part of people that would show up?
Right.
By not charging. You know, will donations work? Is it possible online?
You know, they can do like donations on, I mean, I think YouTube has like a situation, or Facebook as well. If you do Facebook Live, they have like a place where people can donate money. I've seen it work for a couple of shows in Romania. A couple of the Romanian comedy clubs have been doing some lives, and then I see people like donating like, oh, 15 euros. What?
And I mean, hey man, it's also a unique thing about Berlin that people actually feel compelled to give you money for you showing them a good time. And we've all seen that is a standard for where we come from. You know? So I'm just wondering if I can depend on people to appreciate it in the same way online and help a brother out.
Yeah, you know? I was gonna say, I think you know, Tyrone did a good job with like I was watching the thing, and he does the crowd work thing, the Zoom crowd work, which is
totally. So you also see, you know, this is so in a lot of ways this is kind of like a wild west scenario.
Yeah.
People are just coming up with shit and seeing what sticks to the wall or doesn't, you know. In some shows I've done, they say we don't want audio or video of people. You just go, you know. Some of them say we don't want audio, but we want video, so we can see their reaction, and they maybe have emoji buttons you can push to let them know that they like it, you know, thumbs up, clapping, or whatever. We don't want to hear you for the distractions. And some people say, like Tyrone, camera on, mic on, so I can talk to you.
Yeah.
Hear your responses, and so I can hear you laughing.
Right.
So I've seen all these different formats, and different comedians like different things. Personally, I actually like having cameras on and mics on.
Yeah, it sounds more, I mean, it replicates the kind of experience in kind of the most real way, right?
It just resonates with me personally, just my style. When I know you're laughing, I can hear it. It just energizes me.
It gives you that pump. Yeah, man. I think I've kind of, to be honest, I've kind of stayed away from it because I've just been not necessarily skeptical, but maybe I just kind of wanted to focus on the YouTube stuff, and it's been working well because I got like 300, 400 extra subscribers in the past couple of weeks, which is great. And I'm like putting it on like Reddits and like Facebook groups or whatever. I can kind of spam the shit out of it, right? And it's getting some interest. Go ahead.
I was going to say, personally, I'm actually trying to dive into this new world of like online stand-up because it seems wide open. And from the shows, the first show I did, bro, I was hosting and I was extremely uncomfortable because I didn't know what to expect or how to be. It felt like I was doing my first set again. But it's like going to the doctor and getting a shot. Like it's like a prick for a second because you get used to it. When you say something funny, it's going to take a second for people to, but once you get used to the timing a little bit, you realize that, like, for me, it was actually a little more freeing in a way because you still get the people in your face responding to you, but they're not really there. So for me, I have a problem getting my authentic self out. It's a little bit easier because there's just this medium in between where you're still there, but I can just a little bit more me unabashedly.
Gotcha. And you get to account for the lag a bit longer. Like it's basically you're doing comedy with lag, right? Yeah, interesting. I'll definitely try to dive. Sign me up for some shows if you're doing. I'm definitely down to do them just to kind of experience them. I spoke with Tyrone. I think I might jump on the next one for Crazy Stupid Berlin. But man, I'm excited to see where it goes. Like obviously, I want to go back into the scene and kind of do the stuff. One thing I'm exploring doing now is because I got all these ideas that are piling up. I'm thinking of just doing like a YouTube series where I just talk through the ideas, right, and see if I can get some comedy out. Because for example, the other day I was just thinking of the concept of like. So I went to bed a bit like 11 something. So I was like, I'm going to put this phone away. I'm just going to kind of like, try to think of some jokes. So I just see whatever comes, right? And what came was like basically prostitutes on Mars. So I was thinking like, that was the joke, right?
Okay.
So the idea was like, we're going to have, once you go to Mars, you're going to have the opportunity to be registered. You get like everyone that goes to Mars and does the first thing on Mars is going to get a Wikipedia page, right? If you're going to be the first dog on Mars, automatic Wikipedia page. You're going to be the first architect on Mars, automatic Wikipedia page. So I was thinking, there's bound to be a first prostitute on Mars, right? So I was kind of rolling through the idea. How does that happen? You know, how is it male? Is it female? Is it you bi? Is it, you know, tri? Whatever. Is it? How's that gonna happen? Is it, you know, are they gonna be like farming vegetables? Because a lot of life on Mars is gonna be farming vegetables, right? And they're like, fuck this vegetable shit. I'm about to get some money, you know. And then I was thinking of exploring it in a direction, or will we still have the concept of a prostitute by the time we make it to Mars, or will we have like normalized and accepted sex work? You know, get a bit of a message. So we actually start exporting sex workers to Mars. They go on there to, you know, on purpose. They're going to Mars with a mission, and that mission is suck some dick.
I did not think you were about to say that.
Yeah. And it's a noble mission, bro. That there's dicks on Mars that need to get sucked, you know.
Hey, man, definitely.
And it does not exactly. And it does not matter. And it does not matter who's sucking it, male, female, you know, like cyborg. You know, we just need that job to get done. And you know, buttholes need to be eaten. Salads need to get tossed.
Absolutely, man. Bring the chefs.
Exactly. Bring the chef. Yeah. Get the sous chef, you know. I'm a 4-star sous chef. I'm about to toss the salad, put a bit of vinegar here, a little bit of oil, a little oregano on the butthole. And you just kind of, a little bit of paprika. I don't know if paprika is the right thing to sprinkle on an asshole, but you never know, right?
Maybe you just ask first, would you prefer a little spice?
Exactly, consent. Yeah, you get that Michelin star effect on the butthole, you know.
Just saying, bro.
Yeah, just saying. we gotta think of these things in advance, you know. So they're just kind of playing around with the idea. So they're in my head, but I haven't actually this is the first time I've actually voiced it out. And I'm like,
I like that. I like the way that you're thinking about how do I keep exploring? Keep exploring my ideas. Yeah. You know, and getting feedback for those. I think that's a good idea. You know, there's actually Freddie Gralla did this really funny video that she posted, and I commented to her. I told her like, yo, this is hilarious. And I was asking her tips. I wanted to kind of produce my own. And she was telling me, she was like, yeah, it's similar to like writing a stand-up set. So I was like, okay, I had a funny story I wanted to tell. So I kind of wrote it out, and I had to kind of monologue it, sort of.
Out. And then edit the shit, right?
Ideas of jokes. Sorry.
And then edit it and like make it. Like the thing is, I think I've seen what you refer to. So Freddie's videos, actually, I was like, when I first saw it, I also commented as well. I was like, oh, this is actually, you got a great on camera persona. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Especially with like the leopard print and stuff. I was like, I could totally see this becoming a massive YouTube channel, right?
Totally. Yeah. That was one thing I also really liked, her onstage persona, and I was curious how she was able to come across so fucking natural. Yeah. And so I produced one video on my Instagram, and I'm happy with it. And it took so long for me to get to that point, and I realized that what's cool about it is that it could be a way to explore stand-up bits. You could turn it into a sketch or do what you do, you know, do like what you're doing on YouTube, and kind of see what people's response is. Right. And the way you structure it gives you a certain freedom that you can then bring to the stage. You know, right.
So you put it on your Facebook? Did you put it on your Instagram? The bit you said? You recorded something, right?
Sorry, say that again?
You said you recorded like a small little kind of like, you know, attempt at it. I'm trying to find it on your Instagram, but I can't seem to see it.
Oh, yeah. It was like a small short clip. It's maybe like 2 minutes. It's a picture of me in like a background, and I guess there's like a
okay, I see. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I'll watch it after this.
For sure. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, these little sketches, I think there's potential in them, but again, the problem has been like just like the you know, going out of your comfort zone and going to that medium and create, right?
Yeah, that was definitely for me outside my comfort zone, bro. I was like saying things, man. It was like doing a set and bombing over and over again until I finally realized, okay, so you know what I mean. I finally had to realize so I wrote myself a script, and when I would say the script in the camera, it felt like I was bombing every time. Then I was like, oh shit, let me just paraphrase what I wrote. Just slightly wing it each time. So I would just say over and over and over and over again. And eventually it was like, nailed it. Boop, deleted the rest of them. Maybe 2 of them.
This is the thing. It's the takes, right? The takes. Because I the thing is, I'm having the same difficulty with like bringing in my basically my comedy persona into the videos, because I do these like the review videos that I've been doing, and they just feel so robotic on my side, right? Because whenever the camera goes on, I automatically turn into like this. Like for example, now I'm a lot more natural, but when my actual camera, like this camera, when I turn this one on and I start filming with it, I start like going into this like fucking news announcer persona. Well, you know. Yeah, we're live from my room. We're looking at laps per minute here, and we're looking at how many act outs. Like it's like a weird fucking like fucking 5 o'clock news persona.
Yeah, it's a weird professionalism.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird professionalism. I'm like, what the fuck am I trying to do?
Yeah, I feel you, dog.
So I don't know. We'll kind of play by ear and see kind of how it goes, right? All right, man. I think we're kind of like coming close to like almost an hour now. You got anything else you want to add? You wanna plug anything? Plug your social media, anything of the sorts. I'll just put this on my YouTube. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, I mean, you guys could go ahead and follow me at Justy Cakes. I think you might be able to see it down here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not in the video, but
I'll add it up.
Justy, Justi Cakes. And on Facebook at Justin Small Comedy.
Right.
I'll be having events coming up. I post clips with subtitles, so if English is not your first language, you can still follow me around.
Right.
And yeah, man, I'll be doing some skits here and there too.
And kickstart a YouTube, bro. Kickstart a YouTube, and put those little things there. See what happens, right?
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel that I stopped uploading to like about a year ago. But I've got some content that I could definitely put up.
Plug that, bro. Plug it. There's this, bro. I'm so like, just as a closing remark, I'm so kind of blown away by the amount of successful YouTube channels, right? Like, there's so many niches, and there's some people just like talking about random shit, like very niche kind of stuff, and it's like 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, right? Fucking millions of views. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right, talking about mayonnaise or something.
Bro, it's like people cooking with their dog. There's like a channel from Japan, a lady cooking with her dog, 3 million subscribers. And it's just like recipes with her dog, and then her dog is just trying to get in the way. She's like, get the fuck out of here, and it's just kind of like that.
Yeah, man.
That kind of like, silly entertainment. But I think that's one of the things we got to get used to as well. And I think a lot of the mental block for me has been like, I don't have like a studio. I don't have like the proper equipment. I'm doing it in my room with this background, but I'm just like, people don't care. People just want to, it's part of the experience.
Same. My clip I did sitting in this chair just against this wall with this Christmas tree.
I was going to say
the only interesting thing about it is the Christmas tree, and it's not Christmas.
I was going to say it seems like your mental health or like this general kind of like idea is reflected in the position of the Christmas tree, because it's quite erect here. Whereas now it's like a little fucking, dangling little, you can do a joke about that, right? Yeah. Now it's like, it's like a little flaccid Christmas tree now, right?
Totally.
Went from erect to flaccid.
Man, I was just hard in that one video, man.
Yeah, it was excited to be on camera. It was a big moment, right? It's 5 seconds of fame.
Yep.
All right, man. I'll stop recording, but thanks a lot for being on it. I'm looking forward to seeing you either here or doing an online show with you. Yeah. All right. Thanks for being on the Labrador Energy Podcast. And stay safe.
Boom.